Hello, this is Shubhendu here. I work as a principal software engineer with Red Hat. In this video, I'm going to talk about Gluster Volume Snapshot feature provided under oVirt. Just we'll go and log into oVirt administration portal. So under admin portal, under volumes main tab, you can find a set of actions available under a menu group called snapshot, which provide different options for creating a new snapshot, scheduling a snapshot, then editing existing snapshot schedule, and then certain options for configuring the snapshot related parameters. So if you select a volume, there is an additional subtab called snapshots, under which it lists down all the available snapshots for a volume which are created till now. So let's start with the simple creation of a volume snapshot. So I've selected a volume called vol1, and if I select snapshot menu option, now there is an option called new enabled. Let's select this. This throws a dialog which provides details of cluster to which this volume belongs to, currently selected volume name, and user need to provide a prefix for snapshot name which will be created. Ideally, Gluster appends uh, timestamp and time details to the snapshot name by default. So we just need to provide a prefix of the snapshot name. I say test and description for the same snapshot, and we say submit. It goes and creates a volume snapshot in cluster, and the same would be listed under sub tab of snapshots or volume. So if you see here under snapshots sub-tab, now the newly created snapshot is listed, and under this sub-tab we have set of options available for restoring the snapshot for this volume, then delete all, activate and deactivate. Activate is the process where a snapshot can be activated for use. So actually Gluster volume snapshots by default are created as read-only copy of the snapshot, and by default they are deactivated because if a volume is activated or started, it consumes set of resources for bricks and all other things. So for that reason, by default, all the snapshots are deactivated, and if a user wants to use this snapshot, he has to activate it first, then it can be useful. So let's try to activate this snapshot before we go into details of other actions available. So user just need to select a snapshot from the list and say activate. It throws a warning that selected snapshot will be activated. Do you want to continue? Let's say yes. It gets activated. It just shows the status as up, and this snapshot is now activated. To deactivate an already activated snapshot, we just need to select the snapshot from the list, say deactivate. It again shows a warning that selected snapshot will be deactivated. Do you want to continue? Let's say yes. It goes and deactivates this snapshot. Now, suppose we want to delete this snapshot from available snapshots list. You can just select this option delete. It throws a warning that below snapshot would be deleted. Do you want to continue? Let's not delete it right now. We'll create some more snapshots and then we'll come back to these options. So now under snapshot actions, you see new. Let's click it again and see what else is available. So under snapshot creation, there is another tab called schedule. This Tab actually provides mechanism for scheduling snapshot creation for a volume. Suppose you don't want to create the snapshot immediately right now and you want to schedule it for future creation. So those options can be selected here. For this to work, user has to first provide same way the prefix part of the snapshot and then a description. Description is again an optional field. If you want, you can provide. And then we have to go to schedule. So under schedule, if you see there are various recurrence type options available like minute, hourly, daily, weekly, monthly. None is a schedule which is ideally not a schedule. So let's select minute and see what options are available. If a user selects recurrence as minute, it has options like under what interval you want to generate the snapshots. Like you can say I want to create snapshots for the volume every 5 minutes, 10 minutes and all that. Values can be selected in a multiple of 5 minutes, and anything which is less than equal to 30 minutes, it keeps showing a warning that frequent creation of snapshots would overload the cluster. Anything beyond 30 would not have this warning available. Other options which are available on this screen are time zone. Time zone provides a list of available time zones in which we can schedule the snapshot creation. So suppose you want to create your snapshot schedule in a time zone which is Asia Kolkata. So I select this. So it's like in which time zone you want to schedule and at what time you want to start the snapshot creation. So suppose we select Asia Kolkata, then user have options for mentioning at what time this schedule should start. So you can have a delayed start for a schedule. It's not necessary that the moment you create a schedule, snapshots start getting created. You can delay it like from this date and this time I want to start snapshot creation. So here as part of this field user can select from what date and what time user wants to start creating snapshots. That can be selected as part of start schedule by. And then we have an option called end by which mentions whether you want the schedule to be ended by certain date and time or you don't want to have any end date for that. So by default there is an option called date which is selected. In this case user has to provide a end schedule by detail. Again this is a date and time where user has to select by what date and what time user wants to end this schedule. So say we want to end this schedule by 28th of August, 12 o'clock or 12:40, then this time can be considered as like end date for the schedule. The time this time ticks, the schedule will get disabled and removed from the engine database and no further snapshot should be created. If you don't want any specific end date for this schedule, you can select no end date and no option to select the end date for this. Similarly, for an hourly schedule, if you see, you have different options available like time zone, start schedule by, and end by. There is no minutely or every 5 minutes kind of option available here for hourly generation of snapshots. Similarly, for daily, there is an option to say at what time daily you want to create the snapshot. You can mention that execute this schedule every night or every morning. Say we say every night 10 o'clock I want to generate this snapshot. So you can say execute at 2200. And similarly again end by and start by time zone details are available. Similarly for weekly schedule if you see there are other details available like on what days of week you want to execute this schedule. The user can additionally say that on Sunday and Friday of every week at 10 o'clock night, I want to create a snapshot for this volume, and other details like time zone and by and extra other things are available. Similarly, under monthly, user can select on what month days this schedule should be executed. So you can say like every 15th and 28th of the month, I want to create the snapshot. So select 2 days from the list and then provide other details like execute at, end by, and all those options available. So let's go and create a 5-minute schedule for this volume, which starts in Asia Kolkata at say today 30th 1:40. So it's say 1:50 afternoon, and then I don't want to have any end date, and I just schedule it. It goes and creates a snapshot creation schedule in the system, and there is a marker available under info column which shows that volume snapshots are scheduled. It shows an icon that there is a schedule available for this volume for snapshot creation. Till this snapshot schedule creates further additional snapshots, let's go and look into other options which are available for snapshot. Other options which are available are edit schedule, options cluster, options volume. So first let's have a look at edit schedule. So once you create a snapshot schedule for a volume, this option edit schedule gets enabled, and user can select this option if he wants to modify the schedule for that specific volume. All the existing details will be pre-populated in the screen, and user can modify and submit these details. Snapshot also has set of parameters which can be set for a volume or a cluster. So set of options which are available at a volume level is this, where user can mention snap max hard limit, which mentions that what is the maximum limit of snapshots which could be created for a volume. Once this limit reaches, user cannot create any snapshots anymore. User has to delete certain snapshots, then only snapshot creation can be performed on this volume. So say we want to change this, you just change the value here in this text box and update. It shows the cluster level value also available for this parameter just for reference. So say we want to change it to 120, we just change it and say update. It shows a warning that this value is going to be changed, which is going to restrict creation of volume snapshots. We want to continue. Say yes, is going to set that volume snapshot option. Just to see whether changes have been reflected, you can again load the same options and it shows those new values set for that volume. Similarly, there are certain snapshot parameters are available which can be set at cluster level. So if you select cluster level, it shows the currently selected cluster for the volume, and all the available values are displayed here, like activate on create, which mentions whether you want your snapshots to be activated by default on creation for this cluster. Then auto delete means there is a flag which can be enabled the moment the soft limit reaches for a volume. It will start deleting the snapshot so that user can create snapshots again. Snap max hard limit again. Similarly, what is the max limit of snapshots which can be created at cluster level for so any volume which belongs to this cluster, and if it doesn't have its snap max hard limit set is specifically the system level or cluster level value applies to the volume. Similarly, soft limit is a percentage of max hard limit which mentions after which limit uh, warning will start coming up the moment you try to create a volume snapshot. Once soft limit reaches, it starts warning you up that your limit is reaching, do you still want to continue this snapshot? And once your hard limit reaches, you won't be able to create snapshots anymore. So these are the options which can be set either cluster level or volume level for Gluster Volume Snapshot feature. Another thing, if there is a schedule available already for a volume, then if you click New, Schedule tab will not be available anymore. This dialog now allows you to create some ad hoc snapshots only now, and you can't create any schedule again because only one schedule is possible for a volume at a time. Say we want to create another snapshot for the same volume. Let the schedule be running in the background, that is still going to create the snapshots, but this an ad hoc creation, we fire it again. It goes and creates that snapshot immediately for you, whereas this snapshot schedule is still there in background and it will try to keep creating snapshots. Now delete, you can select multiple snapshots as well to delete. So suppose we want to say delete these two snapshots for the volume, it will throw the warning that these two snapshots are going to be deleted. We want to continue. Let's say yes. It goes and deletes both the snapshots of the volume, and immediately this number of snapshots column gets changed. Like it keeps showing the current number of snapshots available for a volume. Now let's go and create some more snapshots so that we can perform other actions. Yeah, keep snapshot name prefix as test. I create 2, 3 more, and then we will perform the actions. One got created, let's create 2 more. So these 3 snapshots are created for the volume. Now let's try to perform other actions like restore or delete all. So if I select one snapshot, then I can say that restore this volume to the state of this snapshot. Let's select a snapshot from the list and for this volume and say restore. It throws a warning that volume will be brought down and restored to the state of the selected snapshot. Do you want to continue? Let's say yes. So automatically behind the scene, it brings down this volume. It restores that snapshot for this volume. What happens behind the scene, actually, the actual state of the volume is brought back to the state of the snapshot which we selected here below. And only one thing visibly you can see is you see the bricks for the volume. It changes those brick paths as some cryptic names, which are actually because of snapshots which were created earlier. Now let's go back to snapshot subtab and try to look at another option called delete all. No need to select anything. You can just leave anything selected here and you can say delete all. It will say that it's going to delete all the snapshots. Do you want to continue? I say yes. it goes and deletes all the snapshots of the volume. Now, one more thing which is pending we can look at is edit snapshot schedule. Let's go back to this screen and try to change the time for starting the schedule. Currently, we have set as 1:50 afternoon. Let's change this to say 1 o'clock immediately now. Now, schedule is created for 1300 hours and currently the time is 12:59. So immediately we should be able to see a snapshot because of this schedule which is running. We need to wait for a minute as the schedule is going to be triggered in a minute now, so that snapshot will be created. And then every 5 minutes it will keep creating snapshots for this volume again and again because we don't have any end date schedule for this volume. In the meantime, I'll try to show some other options which are available under scheduling only, which we didn't go into detail earlier. So under schedule, if you see under monthly, there are options like last day as well. So there are certain validations which are set on this screen. If you select last day as an option, you can't select any other date. That's kind of restriction which is put because you can say that I want to execute this schedule every last day of month. If you don't select last day, then you can select any 2-3 days from the list and use it for scheduling the snapshots. Similarly, if you want to delete a snapshot schedule from the system, all you have to do is come to edit snapshot, select the option none as reference type from the list, and it will delete the existing snapshot schedule. So here you select none and say I want to delete this. So the snapshot schedule will be deleted. You want to continue. This warning is thrown on face of the user. It says yes. It will go and delete the existing schedule for the volume. And this icon also goes off from here. That's all I have for today's demo. Hope to see you soon. Thanks.